Hello everyone, this is Shrimi, and today we're going to be reviewing Huion L4S LED lightpad, which is this thing here, obviously. Here it is in a comparison with an A4 drawing. So as you can see, it fits A4 almost perfectly. So first things first, why use a lightpad? Well, I personally use it for tracing drawings like these, which are made with alcohol markers on marker paper. So here's my micro paper pad, and as you might know or might be able to see, the paper is very thin and kind of flimsy. And I'm the kind of artist who's quite messy. My sketches look like this, or like this. And there's been more than one time when I just messed up my drawings because I erased too harshly or something. So the lightpad is really useful for that. It comes with a little clip to hold your paper in place, and with a micro USB cord which plugs into your laptop. Here's my laptop. Here's my Christmas tree. Here's my tea. And here's the drawing that we're going to be tracing today. Alright, so let me show you what I mean when I say that this is a really useful instrument for me. So this is what it looks like without the lightpad. You can sort of see the drawing underneath, but it's not nearly particularly clear. And this is what happens when I turn it on. So it turns on at the last safe brightness that it was. And then the controls are very simple, very minimalist. There's literally one button here. So you touch and hold it to decrease the brightness up to the minimum. And then you touch and hold it again to increase the brightness. Then you tap it to turn it off, and tap again to turn it on, and then it turns on at the last brightness that it was. So that's quite handy because it actually remembers. And as you can see, the drawing is much clearer now, and it's very easy to trace, and you can also move the second sheet of paper around, which is also something that I find this useful for, because for this drawing, I think I drew it a little bit too much to the right, so on the actual thing I want to center it more. And I actually want to change the sand and make it more symmetrical, because I plan to use the drawing for a marker comparison, which is exciting. So, let me show you the process of how the tracing actually works. And here it is, my trace drawing. As you can see, the trace sketch is much cleaner and will be easier to line. And I also changed the hand because I decided that I wanted to make like a heart shape, or like a heart shape, but from the other side. That is difficult to show you right now. And this will be much easier for me to erase as well than this one. So all in all, it'll make for a good marker drawing. Of course, this isn't a super detailed sketch, and I'll probably fill in these details later. because they're not that important. I don't really need to trace them, but for tracing the general shape and for things, it's really useful. And I think what I found especially good about the lightpad is that I could very easily duplicate the hand without having to like redraw it all over again. I could just flip the thing around and then the lightpad would shine through it and then I traced it. So yeah. This lightpad was around £30 when I bought it, which was incidentally the same amount of money that I earned for a commission that I did, so I thought I might as well treat myself and optimize my drawing process. I think one flaw of this lightpad is that you do have to plug it into a computer, which can be a little bit annoying, especially if you have a small table. I'm doing it on my huge living room table right now. Also, this micro USB thing is quite stiff, although that might be a good thing more than a bad thing, because it definitely won't just unplug itself randomly. It's like well stuck in there. So yeah, look forward to my next video in which I will refine and line the sketch and then color it with Copic markers on one side and these Ohuhu markers on the other side. So besides tracing, a lightpad can also be used for traditional animation, and it can also be used to kind of create combined images, because you can layer several sheets of paper and then create a combined image this way. This is just a really bad example, but do you see what I mean? I could trace these two drawings together on one sheet of paper and make a composition this way. So yeah, it's really useful, it's not expensive. I like it. I would give it, I don't know, like a 9 out of 10. I'm not an expert though, and I only really use it for one purpose at the moment, but yeah, for my purposes it's good. And in general, Huion products are quite good, in my opinion. Also, it just looks cool, it's fun to play around with. Especially with these colored things. I've not done this before. So, I guess you could also create like wacky, interesting videos and images with this. And I guess potentially you could use it as like a light source. It's not really intended for that though, but I can see it being used this way. It's quite thin and light, doesn't take up much space, and comes with a little bag as well. Alright. So yeah, this was my honest, unsponsored review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, which will be the market comparison. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, you can subscribe to my channel for more arty videos like this one. You can also like this video and share it with your friends and loved ones, it would really mean a lot to me. On my channel I often use art to illustrate all kinds of conversations, such as social justice matters. You can view my series on internalized ableism through the link in the description. I also make pure art videos, as well as art supply reviews like this one. If this sounds up your alley, then you are most welcome to be my subscriber. Thanks again for watching, this was Rumi, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!